On behalf of the City of Paterson and my family, I want to extend congratulatory wishes to the Paterson Alliance on 20 years of advocating for a better quality of life for Patersonians.
The nonprofit sector in Paterson is absolutely vital to the functioning of this city.
I would invite people from Paterson to come to St. Joe's Medical Center, talk to us about what the health needs were so St. Joe's could kind of connect. And one of the people I invited was Bob Garassi. He said,
we ought to get together. Yeah. We ought to talk.
Bob had a list of every nonprofit in Paterson.
We did a mailing and we simply said, hey, the idea has emerged in a city of 150,000 people with literally hundreds of nonprofits. There ought to be an organization that pulled everybody together to work on issues of common interest and to collaborate in a way that would allow more resources to benefit the people of Paterson. Besides Gwen and myself at that initial meeting, Marianne Mirko from the 4Cs organization, Cecile Dickey, who headed up Concerned Parents for Head Start, Maria Magda, who headed up the Hispanic Multi-Purpose Service Center, Dr. Mary Garner heads the Paterson Community Health Center. From the 6 of us at the initial meeting, we had that larger meeting, and I remember 60 different organizations showing up in that old Congdon Mill building at 13 Van Houten Street.
Right.
Nobody expected to see so many people. And then, of course, when we all started talking, it went on forever.
Yeah, the good was everyone came together. The bad was it didn't work that way because it was too long.
We didn't really have the experience of what we now call meeting technology to figure out how to have this conversation. People just literally ran out of time.
So a couple of people started to make suggestions. Irene Sterling was one of them. Barbara Dunn was one of them.
Looking back, that first meeting, it was premature to even think that there could have been an agenda of what do we need to get done.
Right.
We didn't know each other.
So we said, well, why don't we have a meeting with those of us who started it and those who were making suggestions, and we'd talk about it, and then we'd meet the next month to talk about it, and that became the Alliance. Just more people started showing up.
Gwen was the one with the training and the experience at that point, and very critically, the right place to meet at the hospital.
And Gwen was just so hardworking and methodical. I mean, she did a tremendous job of capturing everybody's voice and everybody's thought.
Starting, I think, in the second year, we began meeting at each other's agencies because we realized the problem was we didn't know each other.
Well, we were all wrestling. How do you get out of a silo? And how do you make room for other people? How do you listen to figure out what is it that the other person or the other organization has that's important to me?
What became evident early on is that there was a hunger for fellowship. And I think that fellowship then turned into collaboration.
This is a coming together of nonprofit organizations as an important force for change, equal to the business community, equal to the faith community.
I remember when the Alliance started, we joined immediately. What a great idea. An organization that unites nonprofits and serves to build a more vibrant community. Love that word, vibrant.
One of the first things where I said to myself, this is collaborative, is I think a Robert Wood Johnson New Jersey Health Initiatives grant that was originated from you and St. Joe's.
It was a terrific collaboration. It was CUMAC, St. Paul's, and St. Joe's.
And that was tangible proof that the concept of nonprofit organizations coming together and working collaboratively could actually expand the resource base.
Yeah, that grant was 1999. They said it was the highest grant Robert Wood Johnson Foundation awarded that year.
The Abbott decision came down, and the opportunity to build new schools came into play. And we all got together and saying, okay, who's going to step up and lead the group? And everybody went around the circle and went, well, no, that's mission creep.
But we hadn't had that first kind of look-see of how are we stronger together than individually. That coalition for our children's schools probably would not have been so successful.
The Alliance scored one of its biggest victories, convincing the city government to open up the Community Development Block Grant Program to allow nonprofits to compete for funds to help them run their programs.
And there were other big successes. A lot of the kids in town who would qualify for free breakfast and lunch were not getting it in school for various reasons. They were hungry, they weren't eating. And agencies got together.
The program they use is called Breakfast After the Bell. The New Jersey Department of Agriculture says the number of students having breakfast at school has gone up from 5,700 students in the 2011-2012 school year to 17,600 students during the 2016-2017 school year.
We have been affiliated members of the Paterson Alliance, and we have benefited significantly from all of the resources and the networking and the connections. And if you are a nonprofit in Paterson, you have a wonderful gift here in the Paterson Alliance.
The other large effort that was education related has been pushed to have more children who are eligible for preschool actually register and enroll in Paterson Preschool.
The meetings of the Alliance allowed people to get excited about a bigger picture.
One thing that's undeniable is leaders of nonprofits who simply did not know each other, got to know each other well. The venue evolved where we were meeting at the Brownstone for breakfast that we called Works in Progress. Well over 100 people would come to these breakfasts, and they would hear different developers and different organizations and different corporations talk about the projects that they had on the drawing board.
And not just nonprofits, but whatever was going on in town.
The Paterson Alliance was established, and it was a force in the city.
It's not so much that the Alliance built anything in particular, because we're not a bricks and mortar and we're not a projects-based organization. Our job is really to make sure that there is a consistent, involved set of voices looking at the issues in Paterson.
All of our nonprofits working together make a difference in the life of our residents, and we hope to build on this for many years to come.
I had the privilege of being the executive director for the Paterson Alliance for 6 years. I pray that the Alliance will continue and will grow even the more.
We did not have an executive director initially.
No.
How many years did we go without an executive director?
Almost 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years just winging it.
We kind of took turns as being president of the Alliance. Somebody who was president for a couple of years was Sister Gloria Perez, and she was a very active participant in the affairs of the Alliance. Amongst the greatest successes is the support of the Henry and Marilyn Taub Foundation.
And they've been absolutely critical.
And they still are.
And they still are, God bless them.
They were great at bringing the resources to do some real planning.
They loved the idea of an organization that was promoting collaboration amongst nonprofits, and it was through their generous contribution that we were able to hire our first executive director.
When I became the inaugural executive director of the Paterson Alliance in 2007, we had about 12 members, and working with the various nonprofit organizations, particularly the core that had existed at the inception, we got that number to 70.
The membership swelled, and the meetings were very, very crowded.
Yeah.
We worked on a whole host of initiatives as far as not just growing the organization, but growing the influence of the organization. Took on the challenge of lead and water, cybersecurity. Those are just a number of initiatives that we pursued, and we secured grant funding as a result.
No discussion of the 20th anniversary of the Paterson Alliance would be complete without talking about the Extra Mile Award luncheon that occurs each and every year.
Idea.
It started in 2008, and I remember having a conversation with Andre and saying, there ought to be some way that we could recognize people who go above and beyond. And Andre said, well, why don't we call it the Extra Mile Award?
Yeah.
What is your fondest memory of your time?
I'd have to say the inaugural Extra Mile Awards luncheon, because there may be people within some of these nonprofit organizations that are not normally heralded, but on this day, we gave them an opportunity to be in the spotlight, and that made me proud. Thank you for carrying on the tradition.
I'm here to congratulate the Paterson Alliance on achieving 20 years of working together to improve the city of Paterson.
Congratulations for a job well done and continuing the efforts of growing the nonprofit sector in Paterson.
The best is yet to come. Congratulations, 20 years of accomplishments to Paterson Alliance.
Let's keep on doing it. There's lots of work to be done. Congrats.
What's the future of the Paterson Alliance? I think it's parallel to the city. The unique combination of history, diversity, and immigrants, that there's an American story here.
There's got to be a way for the Alliance to play a role in the mayor's vision for bringing Paterson back.
And with the collaboration of the Paterson Alliance and the 70 members strong, we will get a complete count in the census, and we will effectively address quality of life issues. I should be the education mayor, and the Paterson Alliance will play a critical role in that.
The more that our not-for-profits engage and reflect our communities, the stronger and the better we're going to be.
Paterson's best days are in front of us. And the diversity, look at this room. My God, this is the United States of America. This is the United States of America.